Hi, this is Clyde Boom, and welcome to I Learn Linux video tutorials. A Linux Live version is the complete Linux operating system contained on a single CD. Everything you need to get up and running with Linux is on just one CD. You just put the Linux Live CD in your drive, start your system, and the entire Linux operating system boots and runs from the CD. This includes the Linux OS, a Linux desktop, and lots of Linux programs, including utility software programs like a calculator and dictionary, application software programs like a word processor, spreadsheet, and graphics program. You can also get internet programs like email and a web browser, so you can search the internet and see websites. Some live CDs also include utilities that let you do lots of useful tasks, such as rescue a damaged Windows system. And some live CDs also include one or more Linux servers, such as a web server and a Windows-compatible file server. So, you can easily boot from a live CD and do things like fix a Windows system, or do a few extra steps and run some type of Linux server. The possibilities are literally endless. One of the great benefits of booting with a live CD is that you can also do a few steps to go to the command line to run Linux commands. It's pretty amazing. You just boot with the live CD, and in a minute or two you can start working with the Linux OS and Linux software programs. No installations required. So, you don't need to install Linux. In other words, you don't need to spend a lot of time specifying Linux system settings and copying the Linux OS and program files onto your hard disk. However, as soon as the power goes off, the Linux Live version is gone, and you have to reboot and have the Linux OS and desktop start up again. Another great thing about Linux Live CDs is that they're real cheap, so you can try lots of different Linux versions to see which ones you like the best. Just do an internet search for Linux Live CDs and find a site that sells them, and then look through the list to see which Linux distribution you want. You may even want to get several. You can get them mailed to any place in the planet for a very reasonable price. Experiment away and have lots of fun trying out lots of different Linux Live CDs to see which Linux versions, desktops, and programs you like the best. This is an excellent and easy way to learn Linux and get practical hands-on Linux experience at the same time. Just put the CD in the drive and boot. So, you may want to get Linux Live versions so you can try out different Linux distros, and you may want to get live versions to easily learn Linux programs and learn Linux administration commands. Or you may want to get a live version to use for your everyday work tasks. If so, keep in mind that you may not be able to save your data with some Linux Live versions. Do some research before you get a live version to make sure that you can save your work if you need to. For example, the Ubuntu Live version lets you save data to an external USB drive, also known as a USB flash drive or pen drive, and these devices are really small and also really cheap. Therefore, you can actually take your whole Linux setup with you on just one CD and one USB drive. This includes the Linux OS, programs, and data files. So, learning how to use Linux isn't rocket science. It can be real easy. Come on over to iLearnLinux.com and start learning Linux today.